Hey, beautiful mum. There is so much talk about autism and neurodiversity, and this week I feel it's important to say this. Autism is not a one-size-fits-all diagnosis. A diagnosis can be really important. It can help us understand why our child struggles. It can help us advocate for support, and it can help make sense of things that may have felt confusing for years. And for many mums, it can bring relief because it finally confirms what they suspected but couldn't put into words. But we have to be careful that the diagnosis doesn't become a label that is the only thing we see. We have to be careful that it doesn't become a box our child is expected to stay in. Because when some adults only see the label autism, they can start making assumptions. They may assume our child won't cope or that they don't understand. And one of the risks of only seeing the label is that it can quietly limit a child because people stop looking more closely at the unique child in front of them. I've learnt time and again with my own boys that what a child can't cope with at one age, in one environment, or in one season may not be their whole story. When Pete was young, we took him to learn how to ski, but because of his hypersensitivity, he cried the whole time. At that age, in that moment, it was too much for him. And at the time, listening to that distress mattered. He wasn't being difficult, his nervous system was overwhelmed, and he needed us to notice that. But that one hard experience didn't define what Pete was capable of, because years later, as a teenager, Pete did learn how to snowboard. And now he has his snowboarding instructor's license. And in a different way, it was the same with my son Sam. Sam struggled with dyslexia and dropped out of school at 15. And if we'd only looked at that one part of his story, it would have been easy to think failing school had defined his future. But now he has found something that works for the way his brain thinks, and he trades Forex stock market. A label doesn't stop our child from growing and changing, and one difficult season doesn't tell us everything about who they are becoming. The label may help explain some of their needs, but it does not tell us everything about who they are. It doesn't tell us their personality, their humour, their interests, their strengths, their fears, their way of learning, their way of loving, or their future. And this is why I believe we need to look behind the label and ask, who is my child? What do they love? What overwhelms them? What helps keep them safe? What brings them alive? What do they need others to understand? And where are their strengths starting to show, even if they don't look like other children's strengths? Because when we only see the label, we can miss the child. And our children are unique with their own personality, strengths, needs, and way of being in the world. Autism may explain why your child needs support, why some things feel harder for them, or why certain environments don't fit, but it doesn't mean our child's future is already decided. And as mums, one of the most powerful things we can do is keep seeing the whole child, especially when other people can only see the label. We can hold both truths. Our child may need support, and our child is still full of possibility. Our child may have real struggles, and our child is still more than those struggles. Our child may not follow the path we expected, but that does not mean they won't find their way. So, if this week's message has made you think, I wish other people could see more of who my child really is, I've created a simple free resource. It's called Understanding My Child Guide. You'll find the link in this email. It's designed to help you write down what your child loves, what feels hard for them, what helps, and what you wish other adults understood. This is one of the resources I use in my new 4-part workshop series called Before the Meltdown. And if you'd like to learn more, send me a DM. Remember, your child is more than a label. They may need support, they may have real struggles, but they are still full of possibility. And even if they don't follow the path you expected, that does not mean they won't find their way.